Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. Just another video blog today, I think, Tuesday. Managed to only get one of these done a week, the last few weeks. But last week I did one and talked about a lot of music. At the beginning of it, I talked about my cat, Latte. Unfortunately, he wasn't doing well. He didn't respond to some of the procedures, and we had to put him down on late Thursday night. He's only 3.5. It's not been easy. Not been easy at all, you know. I mean, I know it's just a pet. You know, some people don't really treat that, but I don't have children. I don't think I'll ever have children, chances are. So my pet's the closest thing to it, and, you know, he's my companion. My wife and I's companion, given I've been working at home much longer than her. I still am some days. He's our companion. He was our companion. He got the feline leukemia, we know of, summer of 2020, August or something like that. I think he might have gotten in a fight. He was just a stray cat, a little scrawny stray cat. There are some in our neighborhood, not as many as I think we used to have, but yeah, we determined he was, I heard that he was born around December of 2018, but it's not easy. It's taking it. It feels like he should be here still. Of course, he probably always will. I'm gonna have to. In effect, I mean, we put down our dog Coco a few years ago, but Coco, you know, Coco wasn't living with us at the time, even though she spent a lot of time here. But you know, Coco was 14.5. She was dealing with a lot of health problems too. She had a pyometra and then had Cushing's, but her diet was, you know, having to be changed and stuff like that. But then the last, 6 months, she had been dealing with what was a collapsed trachea. That was hard to take, just seeing her. So I kind of felt like it was a major relief, as much as we totally miss Coco. Still do. But that was only in October 2020. But Latte, you know, Latte, this little cat, never been a cat owner, and he wanted to go out. He always, like I mentioned in the other video last week, he always wanted to go out, and how we probably acquired the feline leukemia and probably contributed, even though we kept him in. We were starting to keep him in more, especially this past winter. Really was. But still, you know, he wasn't a traditional cat in that he didn't, you know, scratch on stuff, bite on wires. You know, he didn't play that much inside. We bought him lots of toys, towers and stuff like that, scratching pads. He came here for basically R&R, more or less, to eat. He didn't have to find food outside anymore, and he came here to basically sleep and occasionally, you know, just be with us. He was, you know, he enjoyed having us around, just basically so he could come in. But he loved the outdoors, and we never fully were able to, you know, bring him inside almost full time. We were doing the last week and change walking him on a leash, which, was he still here now, and this had the whole thing come up where he got the cancer, the lymphoma, I think that would have been, going forward, something we would have had to get used to, and just walking him on a leash like a dog. But there's a few different things about it that I'm still just struggling with, and I probably will struggle with. We're probably going to look at getting another cat at some point, but it won't be for a while now, maybe a couple months. I don't know. And we may get another dog too at some point as well. But that doesn't, even if we did whatever pet, or the cat or dog we get, does not take away, you know, the bond that we formed in this sort of difficult times, these weird, crazy, difficult times with all this stuff going on. Latte was there. It's just, he was there for us, and we were there for him too, I guess, in a way. You know, just right at, you know, he was kind of a savior after Coco was gone, but even before that, you know, a pet we could lean on, and you know, this is just really hard to take. It's it feels like a child's loss. I feel like I'm guilty of something. I feel guilty, and I'm not necessarily guilty, but I feel guilty. Like I didn't spend enough time with him, and it just happens right when I go back to work too, which is very weird. And but, you know, I guess it's part of life. You know, life happens, and you just have to move on. Latte himself would want us. The way he was put down was also unfortunate because while he was having the struggle breathing and the fluid after it was drained from his lungs came back, he didn't want to go. They were struggling to give him like a catheter and all this stuff. He took off and his eyes turned green. It was a weird pic. It was the other two times when we put down Coco and then my wife's dog Alfie back in 2013. That was more straightforward. I mean, it was hard to do, very difficult, of course, since you're having to say goodbye to this, loyal, beloved pet of yours. But there wasn't much real stress or drama. We believe that Latte, when he went there, he kind of almost escalated his condition and got really on edge and stress and skitsy and everything like that. Like, I'm not ready to die. He was freaking out. He had been there just early on Monday, and he'd been okay, I guess, when they did the procedure on him to drain the fluid. But, it just so happened so fast, too. It just within a week. So, anyway, it's a downer, but, it doesn't happen to everyone every day. It doesn't happen to you every day. I mean, I was thinking of, among other lyrics, a bunch of songs that popped in my head, of course, like the Dream Theater song, Take Away My Pain. You took away my hero. Latte was kind of a little hero of mine. You take away my pain, like John Petrucci's dad. Or there's a couple others, but the one that popped in my head when we're sort of sharing this, and I want to share on social media at least some of them more. I did some photos, some videos. I need to get around to doing that. I need to archive them. But that Dredge song, Convalescent. Because even if you're a pet owner that has to put your pet down, like we did with our previous pets, when they're of an age that they're advanced age. This was not an advanced age thing, and this was not something we really foresaw, other than the fact we knew he had the leukemia, but he'd been living with it for almost 2 years at least. That line, the only way you can understand it is to go through it. The line, the thing I thought is, you can't understand it until you go through it. And the Dredge song, it took me like an hour to remember what I was just jogging my head. It has that line, the only way to understand it, from El Cielo. Maybe you've never seen it, maybe you've never been through it. It's the only way to understand it. So, but, even if we get another cat, it will help. I'm sure time heals, of course, but this is a bitter pill to swallow. And he'll always be remembered and loved. I have the video and the photos of him, of course, but it was just a short life. I'm sorry. I love. It's tough. Sorry. Anyway, I was gonna talk about some other stuff, and that's the thing that sort of came up. Of course, on Friday, that was the day that these albums came out, and it was just, I couldn't focus on it. Not much. It just, it's just so secondary. Kind of like what I talked about in the video last week, As much as I love music and other things. Some things just, are more important. They're just, this is my pet that was here. But I did get this in the mail, and I got downloaded that day, the new Family Crest album, which was signed. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have a bit of a stigma listening to it. I'm going to get the vinyl, too. I believe they wrapped it in this and everything. But, Family Crest, I've got some vinyl I think I showed before, but then, of course, I've got all that. This is their last record from 2018, The War Act 1. And then the Prelude to War, the EP, I think it was 2017, 2016, one of those years, 2017. And then the kind of a breakthrough, Beneath the Brine from 2014. That's when I first heard them. I saw with Mother Falcon and became a fan. Family Crest, The Headwind, that's an EP. And I haven't listened to that in a long time. And then the debut album, The Village. My whole collection, I do a video on Family Crest. But, and then, what's this album called? This is like some covers and stuff. Maybe it's a self-titled. I love the Family Crest. Anyway, I got it. I think that I'm getting a vinyl in the mail today. So, but this is the War Act 2 long awaited, which I pre-ordered back in 2019. I was kind of hesitant. As much as I love the War Act one, it was going to be a lot of money, but it's very story based. I mean, the war is the concept. I've never dove fully into the concept. I should read more about it. I should ask some of the fans, but I've only listened to it twice, and I like a lot of it. The stigma that I'm dealing with my cat, the passing when this came out. I'll never forget that, May 20th, 2022. But I do. I mean, I think this album might be as good as this. It's one of my album of the year that year. Now I would put Eldrin's record maybe a little bit ahead of it, Misinformation Age, but I still love this record. I haven't listened to it in a while though. Kind of going back and forth between Beneath the Brine and this, but this, yeah, I mean, they were. I'll get more into it. I do an official review, but like I don't know, next week maybe. But this was a long time in making. They were really, really excited. This was the album they were talking and thinking about. Even when Act 1 came out, they talked about there's another one that we're thinking is even a bigger deal. I thought this was going to be like a double album, but it has a lot. It's like a mixture of their last three records. The two War albums and Beneath the Brine in some ways. I mean, there's a few catchy songs and thematic songs on it, the War Act 2. Maybe if I get the vinyl today, this song right here, "Baby You've Got Your Legs," has a motif that sounds an awful lot like part of the Deer Hunters, the Lake and the River, which I don't know if it was they were at all aware of that at all when it came out. And then this song has a little bit of a part that reminds me of a Royal Hunt song, a band of all bands from the '90s. But you write this off, you have no idea. But yeah, I mean, I'm not disappointed in the least. And I actually can say that I did make, because with the albums that came out last week and the Coheed and Cambria album being pushed back a week, or a month rather, it's coming out, is it a month? It's June sometime, I think. Anyway, it's not coming out next week. There's no more other records releases that are coming out that I'm aware of in May. So I started to compile my mid-season list already, and I counted. I mean, I'm not listening to all of them that much, but I counted 26 or 27 records. But I wanted just to cover one or two other things. I'm not going to be on a Sunday. Maybe on next Monday I'll do something. Sunday is the 25th anniversary of the death of Jeff Buckley, the 29th of May. So I'm going to give this a spin maybe, and I don't know if I'll do something on Monday for Jeff. I've done some Jeff Buckley videos in the past. I don't even have a Jeff Buckley t-shirt, which is sad, but one or two other things. Capital Cities are a band that I like. One of the bands that my wife and I like almost equally. But they are working on a new record. They're kind of a synth. They're a synth pop. I don't know if you call them soul, kind of. They're a little bit like Chromeo, but a little more on a pop edge. Because Chromeo is kind of soul funk pop. I don't know. That's just being general. They had the big song Safe and Sound, which they used in a couple car commercials. There's one. Their debut album, I was trying to find my copy. I have a copy of it on CD, Tidal Wave Mystery from 2013. I really enjoy. And I like the last one a lot too. But the big thing is the last record that came out in I think it was 2017 or 2018. I think I was talking about Capital Cities on on a video, and I was wrong about one of the dates with that. Their last record, Solarize, that was 2018. Anyway, did not have the original, I think he was an original member, Spencer Ludwig, who was sort of pursuing a solo career after their debut album and the tours they did. But I guess he's back with the band. So, and I was subscribed to him on YouTube. He released, I don't know how many, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs over about a 4-year period around that time that Solarize came out. But for whatever reason, his trumpet work is really a big part of that debut album, the Tidal Wave of Mystery. So I'm looking forward to their record. Comes out this year or next year. They posted some photos and he was in the band. So that's kind of a nice piece of news to find out. I always thought that while I really like Solarize, they still were missing something a little bit without him, or that his absence was felt. And while I love a lot of Solarize, I wonder what it would have sounded like with him. And so we'll see what their next record is. I know Sibu Simonian, the lead singer, has done some solo stuff too. Of course, he had a band that I knew back in the 2000s, which I'm forgetting now. that I found out through. I always forget the name of their band. Them and the band that did Apologize. I liked for a brief period. I always got them mixed up. They approached me on MySpace. What was the name of the Aviatic? I don't know if I ever bought the CD. The band I'm thinking of that did Apologize. Oh man, I can't even remember the name of the band. They came out around the same time. I guess I'm just gonna have to use Google. One Republic, yeah, and the Timbaland version. One Republic and Aviatic popped up around, and they both have that U2-esque sound in some ways. It was very poppy. But Aviatic never really went anywhere, whereas they got that song Apologize remixed by Timbaland, and it went viral for One Republic. But no, I really liked Aviatic. I thought I bought the CD. Maybe I did buy the CD. I have it in a box. But Cebu was part of that band. So it's weird he pops up with Capital Cities about 7 or 8 years later. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There was one other piece of news. Oh, well, I would like to... I should have mentioned this originally, but you know my focus is still and will remain a lot on my cat and everything. But I did cross the 200 subscriber marker. I'm at 200. Someone could unsubscribe, and that will... I'll fall back down. Who knows? But appreciate anyone who subscribed over the last... especially the last year, last 6 months. You know, I'm trying at this. I do my best. I'd love to do more with YouTube, and I guess I have my limitations. But 200 it's a milestone, I guess. Maybe I should try doing something. I didn't do anything when I went to 100. That was a while ago. That was many years ago. But I don't know. I'll think about doing something. But yeah, 200 subscribers is something, I guess. It slipped my mind. Oh, the Everything record I've listened to also. Raw Data Feel, which I don't know, maybe I'll give an official review soon. I'm liking it, but I got some opinions, and it's, you know, of course it's on my list. That came out, and the Lickerish Quartet also came out, that EP, the third, Threesome Volume 3 or whatever it's called. And I decided to take the plunge, and I didn't buy the vinyl. If it's really good, I'll maybe come back. I did buy the CD set of all 3 EPs. One of the tracks sounds an awful lot like Timmy Sean, kind of. But I'll show that I ordered that, and show that when I get that in. And I did listen to the Lickerish Quartet EP, the third one, which I liked. Yeah, I'm not sure I like it as much as the others, but you know, I've only listened to it once, so I have taken those in. It's a lot of albums, a lot of new albums to keep taking in. But you know, I have stuff coming in the mail between the Lickerish Quartet, the gospel album at some point, hopefully. The Loser, which is one of my favorites from this year. I did pre-order the Deer Hunter album. That's not coming until July. But there's a couple other things that are coming. I pre-ordered the Fates Warning book by Jeff Wagner. I forget the name of it. It's and there's a Kevin Gilbert note. It's called Destination Onward. The only thing I'm a little thrown off by it is the fact the artwork is very much sort of modeled after, based on Darkness in a Different Light, which some people really like that album. I've never been able to get into that album that much. It's kind of weird. The artwork is nice in a way, but I don't know. Maybe Jeff Wagner explains it, but I've wanted to do like a whole discography thing on them, Fates Warning, because they're one of my favorites. They're a top 5 band for me, and I have their whole catalog. But time is going to really dictate if I'm able to do that. But yeah, the book itself, if I get a chance to read it, I feel like I buy these books. I never read the Marillion biography. I read some of it, but try to do some review. It might be 6 months from now. I don't know, unless it's a page turner. Oh, television and movies. Television. I've been watching. I did watch the Better Call Saul mid-season finale. Yeah, I mean, I would be owed to do a separate video on it probably. And we got 6 episodes left. We have a month. Stranger Things, the first half of the Stranger Things season 4 gets uploaded on Friday too. So And I did watch the pilot episode, the first episode of The Time Traveler's Wife. The second episode aired on Sunday. I haven't watched it. I mean, go figure, but with everything going on. But I like it. I don't know. I mean, the book I read over 10 years ago, of course, it was like 15 years ago. So remembering a lot about it, it's kind of jogging my memory. But I don't know. I know they introduced the friends and stuff like that. Some of the plots, it's going to have legs. If it was just a mini series, I'd probably have a little more optimism for it in the long run. But we'll see. The two leads are good. Interesting, they're both from the UK and they're both doing American accents. It's interesting. One's Scottish and one's just British, I guess. But the two people that I mentioned in the previous, or one of the previous videos about The Time Traveler's Wife. But yeah, I mean, let's see here. Stranger Things is coming up. I know Westworld season 4, I think it is, which is coming up next month too. And then there's some other stuff. My wife and I are watching the Love on the Spectrum, which, say what you will, it's an interesting, entertaining series of sorts. I know there's been some criticism of how accurate it is, how much as it might be a little bit edited for certain things, but and I don't have a lot of experience with people that are on the spectrum. I could actually be considered on the spectrum myself because I have a learning disability, and I have like media Tourette syndrome, stuff like that. I'm a chatty Cathy, and so I can relate to a small degree with some of the people in there. I have a cousin that actually has Asperger's too. I don't know him very well. He's very, very high on the spectrum, but I've enjoyed the first 2 seasons of Michael, the guy who plays Michael from Down Under. He's maybe the most funny, most entertaining, one of the people they have in there. But this is an American version that's just got uploaded to Netflix. So, but I'm liking it. It's something engaging to see, people taking the leap of faith or whatever, getting their breaking the ice and getting used to getting out there. I can relate to that myself at an older age, for that matter, and something new to them. And even if it doesn't work out, it's very compelling stories with a lot of the different levels of to understanding the spectrum, Asperger's, autism, the different aspects of people that live with that, and their families too. The fact their families would like them to meet some other people, meet someone, and have someone at the point they're not able to take care of them, their parents or whoever's taking care of them, someone else. So it's good. I mean, if you liked Love on the Spectrum, the Down Under version, a lot of times with American versions of international shows, like British shows often, or Australian shows, they're not as good. But even in whatever you want to call this, a version like a reality TV thing, but I think they're just people, and so I think I'm getting a similar kind of experience. I suppose the Australian version I like slightly more, but I still like this U.S. version. I don't know if there's going to be a season 3 for the Australian version, the original, because they've had one each of the last 2 years. So, but yeah, there's some other television coming up. I know. Only Murders in the Building season 2 is coming up on Hulu in like July. That's coming, and there's a couple other things. I know the Orville is supposed to be. I haven't checked out that the Orville was supposed to be coming out the last season, season 3, in June, but it's been so little talk. It's like Beavis and Butthead, the Beavis and Butthead reunion reboot, not reboot, but reunion. Babylon 5, that thing's been pushed back, way back. The Battlestar Galactica thing, maybe, I don't know. And watching the fall, they're rebooting Quantum Leap. I don't know, I might give it a chance, but it's on Friday nights, though. I don't know if it's going to be doomed from the start, but so anyway, there's a hodgepodge of a bunch of stuff, of course. I'm just curious if anyone out there has listened to the new Family Crest album. Of course, it's on Spotify. Definitely check it out if you like their earlier work, or if you're a fan of the Deer Hunter. I get the record, but I'll do a hopefully more proper, in-depth, specific review on it in due time, at least. And then, given that I've done that sort of tally of my like the 2022 albums. I probably will try to do a mid-season list sometime in the next few weeks. We'll see. I have next Monday and Tuesday. Monday is Memorial Day, but I have next Tuesday off, so I might have enough time to do the reviews at least. Then I don't know, and maybe, again, it's just gonna be weird. It's just weird here without the cat, without Latte around here. But we got to get this place fixed and maintenance and everything, and for the point that we can have another cat, or and also having some guests over here that wouldn't have been able to come over before because they were allergic to cats, or they have cats, and of course feline leukemias can be passed easily. So I have a lot of work, but anyway, it's a long deal on on May 24th, 2022. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. A little bit of a celebration for 200 subscribers, and we'll see you next time.